Miami Dolphins Darren Waller, fair or unfair, has ghosts hovering over his shoulder. Habib. Miami Gardens. This is all about Darren Waller, and yet it's not about Darren Waller at all. Waller is the tight end the Miami Dolphins plan to unveil against the New York Jets on Monday Night Football. It wasn't supposed to be this way. In a perfect world, Waller would have debuted nearly a month ago. We'd all know what he can offer, and the Dolphins wouldn't still be searching for their first victory. I definitely see that as a process that has been a lot longer than I would have liked, people with the team would have liked, Waller said of his debut. He could have kept going. He could have also listed the fans, which is where the part about this not being entirely about Waller comes in. Odell Beckham Jr., remember him? He was yet another attempt to introduce a third receiving threat to Miami's offense. The results were lucrative. For Beckham, made $333,333.33 per reception last year. There were others. Chase Claypool came and went so fast that a year later he's a trivia question, and a tough one at that. As for Robbie Chosen, it's under review which was greater, his number of receptions or names. None of whom, by the way, is in the same wing of the aging receivers Hall of Fame with Will Fuller, who made $2.5 million per catch from the Dolphins in 2021. It shouldn't be this tough. With defenses stacked to deal with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, Miami's third receiving option should find himself going against the defense's third or fourth coverage option. He should feast, and with it, Hill and Waddle should feast even more. Now along comes Waller, the only one of the bunch with credentials to compare with Beckham's. Waller was the beast who put up consecutive 1,100-yard receiving seasons for the Raiders, starting in 2019, a 6'6", 238-pounder who could run like, sorry, Tyreek, a cheetah. That's not the Darren Waller the Dolphins obtained at a cut rate. When they traded a late-round pick to the New York Giants for Waller, they added a tight end with half of those receiving yards in 2023, which were considerably more than his receiving yards in 2024, 0. He was retired. The plot thickens from there. Waller arrived with the reputation of being a workout beast. So why were the Dolphins insisting he take teensy steps through training camp? There is something to be said for not tossing a 33-year-old into the deep end of the pool, but either your body can handle the demands and violence that is the NFL, or it can't. Only holders are exempt. Deeper into August came another twist. Despite not practicing with the team, Waller came down with a hip injury serious enough to keep him out of early season games, but not serious enough to send him to injured reserve, which would have kept him out through the Jets game. You've got to deal with the reality of a situation like this rather than what I wish could have been, Waller said. Waller is saying all the right things. He's grateful for the opportunity the Dolphins have afforded him. He's looking forward to finally stepping onto a football field again. Dolphins will have Darren Waller on a snap count. Still, the Jets' game figures to be one small step for Waller, not one giant leap. The Dolphins will have him on a snap count. I wouldn't go to all these lengths, have all this build-up, and then throw him out there for 60 snaps, or something, Coach Mike McDaniel said. Waller said he's on board with it. I trust the plan the coaches and the performance staff have put together for me, Waller said. I believe it's the perfect amount for me. It's challenging, but also something to where I can continue to build up as the season goes along. You can't walk out onto an NFL field and expect things to be easy or expect things to be how they once were. So what exactly did the Dolphins obtain with their trade? Just a guy that can line up in different spots and take advantage of, whether it be the middle of the field, just running routes anywhere I'm comfortable with, he said. Waller is a short-term solution to a problem triggered by the departure of tight end Jonnu Smith to Pittsburgh. From strictly a pass-catching perspective, he can help buy time while the Dolphins explore a ceiling for receiver Malik Washington that's higher than anyone thought when he lasted until round 6 last year. Waller would know something about that. He was a 6th-rounder himself back in 2015. Today, he's a veteran who has learned to take the starts and stops philosophically. You've got to be the curator of your own thoughts and mental space in times like this, he said. You know, you've got to keep yourself encouraged. It'll be encouraging to finally see Waller in Dolphins colors and under the lights. It'll be even more encouraging if he makes everybody forget the starts and stops not in his career, but in Miami's search for another receiving option. Darren Waller walks into the Dolphins practice facility every morning carrying more than cleats and a playbook. He carries whispers. He carries expectations. He carries ghosts. In Miami, a city that blends glamour with grit, superstardom is both opportunity and burden. The franchise has been chasing offensive weapons since the days of Dan Marino, and every new arrival inherits a legacy that feels larger than life. For Waller, the veteran tight end whose career has been a story of redemption, triumph, and struggle, those ghosts are already waiting, some fair, others unfair, all impossible to ignore. The weight of his past. Before he ever put on aqua and orange, Waller's story was well known. Once lost to substance abuse, suspended, and nearly driven out of the league, he resurrected his career with the Raiders, turning raw athleticism into one of the NFL's most remarkable redemption arcs. At his peak, he was unguardable, 6 feet 6 inches, lightning off the line, a mismatched nightmare who racked up Pro Bowl stats. But with every comeback story comes fragility. Injuries, inconsistency, and the unforgiving grind of the league eroded his shine. In New York, he struggled to stay healthy, his flashes of brilliance swallowed by frustration. Now in Miami, he isn't just playing for snaps, he's playing for validation. Those ghosts of his past whisper. Can he stay healthy? Can he still dominate? Or is the best of Darren Waller already behind him? Miami's history with stars. To understand the ghosts surrounding Waller, you have to understand Miami's history. The Dolphins are no strangers to splashy acquisitions. They chase big names like a city that never sleeps chases neon lights. Sometimes it works. Tyreek Hill's arrival transformed the offense into a track meet. Other times, the hype falls flat, leaving only echoes of what could have been. For every Hill, there's been a Brandon Marshall, a Mike Wallace, or even a Dante Culpepper, players who arrived with high expectations and left with disappointment. Fair or unfair, Waller enters this lineage. He isn't just judged on his own merits. He's judged against the ghosts of every savior who came before. Fans have long memories, and in a town where the beach sun never sets, the shadows of past failures still linger.